shed.
There's a very small
Okay.
All good? All right, call the OEP committee to order. First thing on the agenda, we were gonna discuss, the ice storm, the recent ice storm that we had. Some of the things in review that we needed to talk about or fix. One is our comms check, Marcus. We need to remember to do that amongst all the fire departments and get everybody to do a communications check to where we know that we have some communication with everybody and all that good stuff. The web EOC, that was updated. Do you have any specifics on that or no?
Me?
Yeah,
Okay. So go back to what Tim was talking about to everybody. That was what it was that I tried to keep everybody abreast of what's going on. The state, as I told you, informed the jury that if we open this shelter, then we have to follow guidelines. As I told you, we discussed it before with the different type of climate change. We got the cooling and warming shelters, but now if you get the term centers, then that does not have to be, so say, follow all the guidelines that the state requires. So that's the discussion that's going around with the state from OSEP and the state office about the difference in a center and a shelter. We can still reach out. So the thing is that when we discussed it, I said if we're gonna do a warming center, then we need to set in our all hazard plan probably an addendum to how we're gonna staff it, how we're gonna run it, what we need to do, what would be the guidelines that we need to set whenever we have these centers that are open, whether it's a cooling or a warming shelter. Because, I realize we're concerned about our citizens, and then sometimes, the discussion comes up, and then, this one here what happens within a day or so, I think it was, when it was finally reached back to me when it was a meeting call, we discussed it, and they moved forward. So, as far as time constraint of getting things done, if we had a little bit more time, we probably could have gotten a lot more organized, in my opinion. So that's one of the things that we need to do. If we want to do it, we need to have a timeline set up to when we're going to start it, planning operations to do it. Because we did reach out to the Red Cross. Red Cross is always willing to work with any type of group whenever they're doing something like this, to assist them with very little. They did bring the little snacks, they did bring the blankets, and then the cots we have. We did make arrangement with the Sheriff's Department for security. That was done. It's just the follow-up of other things that we kind of reached out to people to do was to provide meals. There was a small number, I think the biggest thing we got up to was like 7, maybe 8 people. And it was, we can do that. We did, one of the great things about this parish, commend all the citizens and the groups that came out and support us, that once it was let out, we did get a good response back from individuals and some of the churches that came out and did provide us with meals to the people that was there. With that being said, that's why I said we just need to have a little bit more planning sessions, meet with different these groups that's willing to come out and do these warming or cooling shelters, the centers. So that way we can, we'll be able to talk prior to us opening this thing, to make arrangements, you know, because, you know, we did have, like I said, we did have, once it was announced, I think people begin to react, these organizations begin to call back and said, what do we need, you know, do you need meals? We can provide meals for different days. And we did keep the shelter for about a week. I think about a week we had it running. So that was, well, you say shelter, but the center, but that was a good thing, because actually the first wave came through, we did an ice storm, and then literally it was like a day or so, 2 days of break, and we had the second blast that came through, so we, you know, we kept the shelter, the center open, and provided a place for these people to go in and stay warm during this time.
So I guess my question is, what denotes center or shelter? Is it the number of people, or is it just?
It's not necessarily not no number of people. It's just that what I'm getting from the state is just to get more clarification as you talk about it. Is when we're dealing with the shelter, there are a lot of parameters. If we set it up, that they have to, like, if we do it, we have to set up security. We have to make sure that we have a place for them to get meals. Also, even in some aspects, you provide some type of, excuse my shoes, medical services, you know, because, you know, that's something that we, you know, what we do. You know, not necessarily the deadline of an ambulance service, but we can provide someone with medical training to be in there to assist if somebody gets sick or something like that happen. I think we did do, someone had to go to the hospital from this last one that we did. I thought, when he said the little guy went to the hospital, but there was something else going on. So that's my biggest, that's the biggest thing that I'm getting from, you know, that we do whenever we have to open it, what we do.
So whenever I talk to Amy about that, she said we don't have to do any special parameters to open a warming shelter. She said all we have to do is provide them a place to sit to warm up. So I think as long as we stick with that, we're fine. Anybody that wants to voluntarily bring food or water or whatever, that's up to them. That's not provided by the OEP.
No, this when we talk about a woman center, this is not something that's the OEP doing. It's something that I think is,
So I
in
don't
my
think
opinion,
what
taken
I'm
on by the jury, the jury of
What I'm saying is
themselves
I don't think we're binded by what you're thinking of as a shelter for the state OEP thing.
No.
What did it cost the jury to keep the shelter open that long?
Zero.
Security, what
No,
did
we
security
had-
cost?
Well, we had our people there.
Yeah.
No, but we
So
had
that
a
was the
sheriff's
cost.
department person
They
there.
didn't
I don't think-
they didn't charge us for
And
that.
our people gone in doing daylight hours, so we probably had some extended hours. So,
Well, I mean, but we didn't, the sheriff's office
But-
didn't charge us anything for security, right?
not that I'm aware of.
No.
I do have it.
For the.
Okay, so what was that invoice, Carla, because it's gonna show up in finance?
It's on my desk. You want me to go get it?
Sure.
But all I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, Tim, but I'm just saying that, you know,
So my
We
question
did
is,
this.
what is our agreement with the sheriff on something like this, y'all? Or do we have one?
We don't.
the agreement, if the OEP offers a shelter that's here, for some reason that we have to open up a shelter for, the only time we would open up a shelter in actuality from the OEP standpoint is you have different parameters that the state uses. The size of the hurricane would dictate. From my last recollection, don't quote me 100%, it goes, I think it's a fast-moving 3. We're not allowed to shelter. Anything below that we can, but again, we would have to watch things to dictate to what we do. And from there, you know, if we do a declaration, then we can most likely recoup some of the money that we put out.
How much?
It's $7,245. He billed us for 207 hours at a pay rate of $35 an hour for whoever was there. He billed us for 18 different shifts for a total of $7,245 we just received it. So, question is, where do we pay this out of? How do we pay this? How do we budget for this? Is this OEP? Is this sheriff's? How do we pay this? And what is our agreement with him regarding this?
Well, to me, that's something we need to discuss with him, because
Yeah.
in my opinion, the sheriff in his department is elected to protect and serve
Exactly.
the parish. And in this case, he's serving the people in the parish that don't have a spot to stay warm. I don't know why he would be
Why are we
billing us
being
for
billed
that.
is my question, because you just took the
Yeah.
words right out of my mouth.
Because see, when we were setting it up and we were talking about it at the meeting or one of the info meetings, none of them mentioned anything about charging us or invoicing us or anything like that. So what we understood is that they were going to send people there
Because that's what they
in
do.
shifts.
It's exactly what he did. He sent them in shifts, and then he billed us.
And I thought the city police were supposed to be manning it as well.
Yeah.
Did they ever show
The
up, Marcus?
conversation, if I'm not mistaken with that, I think was from the
Because
sheriff.
until we get an explanation,
That he didn't
I'm
have
not
a staff,
privy
he
to
didn't have
somebody.
enough staff to do, to
Yeah.
assist us, that
Yeah.
was the conversation we was having, yeah.
Right.
This is what I'm getting at, this is where we are right now, this is what I say we necessarily we have to sit down and have that planning session talk. If we're gonna do this, then we need to have an understanding of how things are gonna go from there. Again,
You wanna see it?
prime example, payment. Is he gonna request payment? Where is it gonna come from? This was just a basic conversation. I know he said he was gonna staff.
I mean, I love the sheriff to death, but it's like every time he
Commander-
breathes, he bills us.
Commander's Ducey was here. So,
I mean,
And now I set it out just like that.
using the property next to the jail for a gym or workout center,
Yeah.
you want to get nitpicky.
So y'all, he never mentioned when y'all set it up with him that he was gonna bill y'all?
Commander Ducey was here, right? I don't think the
Okay.
sheriff was here.
I couldn't come to the initial meeting when y'all were setting it up, I apologize.
There was 2 or 3, and there was Cade, Jason Crachan, and one other one. There was 3 guys. in
Yeah, I think Chief Sims was here, but I remember the conversation being that he just didn't have the staff that was able to support us in this situation. It was, Kate was there, and they said they would be able to do this.
Yeah. So what I was in the impression is I told the police chief even that he could have his officers go through there and just like take a break for 30 minutes, 30 minutes and just make a show in every once in a while. There was never anybody discussed anything about billing, so.
Y'all, according to this, like, he was billing us for 2 deputies per day, for each day it was open, except for the first day we opened, in the evening, and then the second day we were only open a half a day. But he billed us for 2 deputies per day, so basically he billed us for 12-hour shifts at the rate of $35 an hour.
I think we're going to have some planning meetings,
Yeah,
moving
that's
forward.
one of the things I was talking about when I was saying discussion.
I had
you
a feeling
and
he would
I
bill
stormed.
us, y'all, no offense,
That-
that's why I asked.
Part of our planning session, we started off well, we had meeting, and then they dropped off, and we stopped having them, so
Yeah.
we should continue those throughout the event,
'Cause-
throughout the whole time.
Well, and then also, I mean,
It's there.
the way I see it, we have a warming shelter or a warming center, a cooling center. And then there may be times when we have an evacuation center because of a train derailment, an explosion wherever, whatever. There's always going to be things that we may have to have some sort of a center for people to go on a temporary basis. So that's, your item number 4 is discuss shelter activation protocol, that's part of it. That, you know, we're serving the community with one of these centers. It's all hands on deck. The fire departments are involved, the sheriff's involved, the city police are involved. You know, we just got to work out all the details, but I don't think as public entities, we should be billing each other for something that's done for the betterment of the citizens of the parish.
I agree.
Well, if he agreed to do it and was gonna intend to on billing us, he should have said something from the get-go.
And
That's
I
kinda
didn't
my
make it
opinion
to
on
those
that.
meetings, but, you know,
I
my
couldn't go to the
understanding,
initial planning meeting either.
yeah.
This is what I'm saying, this is where we need to sit down and have this talk, because like I told you guys before, this is something new. This literally came, these sentences came within the last 2 or 3
Right.
years.
Yeah.
So this is something new.
Can we call
I
it the
can-
parishes and see what they do?
I can tell you
Yes,
what
okay.
Calcasieu does. I was called on reference to why I wasn't attending one of the meetings with Calcasieu. Calcasieu does it with, their director told me they give $50,000 to 2 different organizations. One of them is Water's Edge, and I can't think of the name of the other one. And that's what that's for situations like this. So and I said,
They got tons of money.
Ain't that
They
the
got a lot of
thing?
money.
we just, I don't see that popping up that way. So they do that. So they already have a plan in place with those two, there's 2 groups, I can't think of the name of the other one. I can almost say the other one is Beauregard Parish, but they work with a lot of fake groups up there, and they do some. And I think it's more so with the fake groups, they just basically take it upon themselves. The other, they work in conjunction with Catholic Charities out of Lake Charles. And they did want to work with us too, with these, when we do these centers. I don't think there's anything going on with Cameron and Allen Parish. Again, but these are the only other 2 besides us that does, to my knowledge, that have done it. So that's why I say, if we're gonna do this, then this is why we need to sit down with the different entities, even the mayors, if they were here, and just talk about it,
Yeah.
and discuss it, how are we gonna move forward? How are we gonna do it? All the questions that we're asking tonight will be answered once we develop a plan when we move forward. Because, like I said, it's not gonna get any better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
as far as when we're talking about a shelter, and actually when this office, when the OEP office activate, that's a different thing. We call in the different, ESF, and that's when we start working the plan that's in place.
So looking at
Well, y'all,
ES,
I'm sorry, I detoured y'all from the agenda.
so
I'm
looking
sorry.
at ESF 13, no, it's just discussion, it's still on the one, on the top.
Okay.
ESF 13 is the security portion, it's the sheriff's portion, and I hate to say there is nothing in here that says you send a bill to anybody and everybody.
Again,
So-
Tim, I can tell you, when you're looking at that, that's, all hazard plan, I will be the devil's advocate. It was never addressed for the centers. It mostly references shelter, when you look at it. Never
Well,
addressed it.
it's the same thing, Marcus, it's a shelter. We opened a warming shelter. Warming center, warming shelter, it's all the same thing.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, that's what the debate is. right
Because we
now
were
with
listed on the state, warming shelter. So we were a shelter, and that falls under us, under the OEP. And if this has to be paid, that's gonna have to come out of some way, shape, or form, either the EMPG or the SHISHUP.
So I would just say, we need to have some planning sessions, not necessarily meetings, but planning sessions.
Well, that's what
And
we
we need
did.
to have Amy involved, when I say planning, I don't mean the week before an event.
Well, we didn't know we were gonna do
I
it
know,
until-
but, you know, in other words, we've got now, pretty much from now until November, December, before we hit some more cold snaps. Let's get these things together and have that in line for the next big cold snap.
Not necessarily just a cold snap, but
Well,
also on these hot days. you know,
yeah.
so- But that's what I'm saying, that's why I brought it up, that we need to sit down, if necessary,
Yeah.
put it in part of, put it in addition, and part of the, our hazard plan as an attachment, and we
yes.
sit down with our different EFSs and determine.
ESF 6 is temporary sheltering, so it's in there also. So, I mean, there is
The
a,
other advocates, a temporary shelter reference something like, if you have a train derailment, an 18-wheeler derailment, I mean, a hazardous material incident. Even you can go as far as a tornado situation where you're just gonna move people to a safer location until they can move on. When we're talking about a man-made situation like a derailment, that has a different horse, because now we're talking about somebody else. We know where we're gonna get the funds for that one.
Yeah.
We know where we're gonna get the funds for that one. So it's not the same like a natural disaster. So when we talk about temporary, I think it's just there, just for a moment within the, you know, it's staff, maybe max out at, I would say probably about 48 hours. It just there until we can move people out of homes, you know, temporary housing, and then move them to a place where they could be, you know, stored. That's
Yeah,
what-
I move that we have some planning discussions over the next 90 days, 6 months, whatever. And then, you know, we come back, we get together and then we vote on
so to make a protocol, is that what you like?
Exactly.
Make a protocol
Yeah.
for,
to vote on a protocol.
Setting up.
basically. Yeah.
Right here where it says shelter activation protocol.
well, I don't want to limit it to just a cold shelter. We need to have a protocol for setting up
Any
a
type of
shelter.
emergency
Yeah,
activation.
any activation of
Yeah,
any
call it
sort.
emergency activation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we skipped 2 and 3 basically, but, I mean, we moved straight from Web EOC update to activation protocol. But I think on that, I move we just have the planning meetings, get those people, those ESFs involved that are going to be involved inside, or have them come to the meetings that are going to be involved in it. And let's, iron out the details. But we've got to get those people involved because we can't make decisions for them.
And we hadn't jumped yet, we still on, because that was my whole point of the, number one was to discuss how the shelter went,
All right.
so,
I mean, y'all heard nothing but positive feedback from people.
yeah.
And actually, I want to, if we look at the overall picture, we did well, we did good. With the minimal type of planning that was done, it went well. We had, the hiccup that we had was very minor. Everything else was taken care of. We were able to feed our people, keep them down. It was nothing got out of hand. The Catholic Charities out of Lake Charles, a young lady, Miss Carolyn Washington, Barker, did stay in contact with me as to for whatever we needed. We were able to get a lot of stuff. We even bought supplies like for toiletries, washcloths and towels. I think the city has agreed to pay that small amount of money. It wasn't that much. So we did, I think we did very well. Support that we had from the workers with Marcus and his crew came in there, they did everything. The lady from the sheriff's office did, prepared the breakfast and $1, whatever they were donated, that she was able to make a good breakfast for all the small people that were there, number that was there. So it went well. Like I said, there was one minor hiccup that did occur, it was handled, and that was it.
Yeah, I didn't hear any negatives, so.
No. Wasn't nothing negative, it's just like I say, the thing is that we just need to be a little bit more organized and have a plan in place, so we know how things will flow.
So most of that shelters planning is on ESF 6. That's the mass, it outlines basically every bit of everything that you want to do and what you need, all of that, so. Anything else on that, on the storm? No?
I don't have
The
anything.
other thing I want to bring up, in relationship to this topic, this winter storm, is that I'm trying to locate all the water systems representatives to make sure, we lie, I don't want to be critical of anybody, but if you were watching, had the opportunity to watch these conferences that the governor held with these northern part of the state that was hit hard with this winter storm, a lot of them lost their generators. A lot of them, from what I gathered, was not necessarily even had generators, but other issues arose. Now, I've been trying, I think, Ben has did give me some of the contacts, and we did send a generator survey out to all the entities to give me, to have a generator, what type, what down, what's necessary to get it back up from the state's aspect. The National Guard requested that information so they could, if it was needed. Again, I'm not being critical of these other parishes, but a lot of their water systems went down because of generators. I have a generator. I just want to make sure they all have a backup generator, please. We need to look into that, make sure they all have backup generators. And then again, the other part of this, how is it fueled? How are the generators run? Because I also was hearing in the conference calls, there was an issue getting, some of them was getting, they were on propane, getting fuel to it. So, it's something that we need to look at. Just,
What's crazy is all these, I don't, the more you look into it, the more you read, all of these ESFs have a whole set agenda that they need to, we have Randy is in charge of Public Works. What he's talking about with the water systems, that would fall under Randy. The firefighting, that's Tim Landry. Emergency management, it's under Marcus. They're all listed under these ESFs, and not really any of us know how to.
Yeah, so I know everybody has the
Yeah.
plan, the full plan, but
Yeah.
like you said, you need to break it out. Randy, this is your section, and just give him that. So
I
he
think
can
that
do
was the next topic we was gonna move them to that's why I was telling you.
Yeah, that's number
That's why I
4
called,
on the
talked
list.
to Jim,
Or number 3.
we ready to move, we ready. Whatever.
Well, the ESFs, that's number 3 on my list. Let me do number 2 real quick. Randy, you started printing those, the stuff for the OCV app, right? The QR codes and all that stuff?
I sent it to production yesterday.
Okay. What I'm hoping is that we are able to put these QR codes on all of the parish equipment, anything that goes down the road where people can see it, scan it, and sign up for our app. And as the app develops, we can, I'm hoping that all the jurors have it and that it worked through the little ice storm that we had. That was really our kind of first test of being able to use it. And did any of y'all find it was good, bad, ugly, what, through it?
Well, on that same topic, I'm glad, I need to get your input, please. I'd like to get the public input because the renewal of that comes through our office. We're the one that pay for
Through the
the
OEP.
majority of it, but we're gonna redo it. If we see it's something good, I think the company works with us well. I mean, what I'm seeing is very
So-
worth it.
So going
There's
to
a lot
that
of
app,
information that comes from our office that's on that that app. Also some stuff that pertains to the jury, that's also there, so.
so going to that app, we went from, what, 13,000 a year to 5,000 a year, I think we saved,
8.
to 8,000 a year? Or doesn't it drop one more time? I think it was a $8,000 setup, and then the next time it drops. That we read it? I don't remember the specifics, but that does come out of the OEP budget, so as long as, and we have to have a mass communications deal, so I'm hoping that y'all found that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a
kept us
technology
informed.
question. Can this app and our parish app,
That is the same.
it's the same, yeah, that's what I was like, making sure.
Yeah, OCV.
Yeah. it's the
That's,
same
that's
one.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, though, we had this severe thunderstorm that came through, I don't remember what day that was now.
I was just making sure there wasn't another app on it now.
I don't remember, it was,
Another day? Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, to make you understand, give you what happens. As a system of IPAWS, Integrated Preparedness Alert and Warning System, this is a federal system. When you get that alert, it will be National Weather Service, something like that.
No.
I'm getting
So
something.
the National Weather Service, when we had the Nixle system, and I have to look through the OCV app, there's a portion on there where you add the National Weather System, and you add all these things to it. iPause is just strictly what we put in, it sends out. It doesn't automatically connect,
The Weather Service will automatically come through,
not through iPause.
not through IPAWS. IPAWS is, that's what I'm saying.
That goes through
IPAWS is separate.
OCV.
The National Weather Service automatically comes through your phone attached to its, how do they say it? It's attached to our system that has it. Because they'll alert, the system is, it's a, I keep saying federal, but
It's a
it's
national
a
emergency
system
weather
that's gonna
system.
come across your phone.
Yeah, we have to attach it to the OCV app, and I need to figure out how to do that.
It should-
So-
It
should be
wasn't,
coming across.
So I
it
got-
was still coming across the Nixle.
Yeah, I'm
It
still
should-
getting it
yeah.
from Nixle, so what
Nixle
is,
system is still sending them out, so that kind of covered us through that storm like you're talking about.
yeah, so Nixle's not part of the OCV app anymore?
No.
Or, I mean, not part of that?
No,
So how are we getting that?
I don't know.
That's
'Cause
through,
I'm-
that's what
We're
I'm
not
saying, that's through
paying
the
that.
National Weather Service that ties into,
No, because I
Right.
also got, so I got that alert about
So-
the thunderstorms, and then
So
I
we
got
used
the
to pay
tone out.
We used to pay for the Nixle system. That was the one we went from and to. The Nixle system was through Everbridge.
Yeah,
Everbridge is the one that sends out all the national word, because it's a part on the OCV app that you, or the app that you turn on. I had all those weather alerts, because I could select flood warnings all the way through whatever. I could select each one of them that I wanted it to send alerts out on the Nixle. This one, I haven't found that yet, so I'm gonna have to go through that and see if I can find it.
all right,
Now, I
so,
don't know, I'm gonna have to go to Nixle, or I'm gonna have to try to log into Nixle again, see if I can turn all that off. They're not billing us for it, we're not getting a bill, it's just still happening.
well, but, I mean, and
We
and
don't
I
wanna-
don't,
I know what you're saying, we don't wanna double up.
yeah, I don't want to double up, but I also, I mean, it was pretty nice, because then I didn't get anything from our OCV app. I got something from National Weather Service, because that toned out everybody's phone in my house. And then I got these alerts that not everybody got. So, you know, I would suggest that you get a hold of Ricky. He's the one that put us on OCV, and he ought to be able to show you where to go to.
It's on the dashboard, I just have to find it,
Well,
and
don't-
it's my fault,
Yeah, just reach out to him. I mean,
yeah.
because, you know, I think it was, I like the Nixle stuff. But I thought it was still coming through as part of OCV, so.
It's not. I don't know how they're still sending us stuff, but anyway.
Again, though, I didn't get a single complaint from anybody saying, oh, man, I got all these alerts and I didn't know what was
I didn't
going
get
on.
any of that.
So the big thing is I don't want to double up alerts, but I definitely think we need to alert people.
Ben, do you know off the top of your head what the login is for that? I have it in my house. Never mind, that's good. For those,
That was the Saturday night,
right,
whatever, all
for
weekend.
the,
Yeah, it was. It sure was. Yeah,
yeah, me too. But it's in my house. I was just,
yeah, yeah.
please tell everybody, password. All right. So,
Yeah.
do you want to review how the emergency support functions go? Or do you want me to best explain how I understand it?
The reason why I was bringing that one up, we have, basically it's all the way up to, I think the numbers went up to 16, but we don't use all 16. It's emergency support function.
Who were those issued by? You're saying there are requirements, who are they issued by? The state?
It's so that there's 16, like you said, there's 16 of these positions that the state puts together, and you have to fill them. As a part of the OEP, each government has to fill the ones that they're gonna use. Now, you can use all 16, or you can say,
So can we have 8 people and give them
we're
each 3
gonna
jobs?
we're gonna fill 1
Okay,
through
got it.
7, and 13, let's say 13 or 12 Entergy. That's the energy or
Okay.
the Jeff Davis Electric or whatever.
But I thought you were saying, and this might be, you were referencing something else, you were saying, if you have a shelter, then you need to follow certain guidelines, that's not these.
No,
Okay.
this is the part, each one of these ESFs, you assign a person to do. Like, I'll just go through ESF number 1 right now, which is transportation. Transportation deals with, moving all the people that we're evacuating. Let me buzz down to it real quick.
And we have people named in those
Each one of
positions,
those,
right?
yeah. So it goes, as you go through the ESF, you have purpose, a scope, situation, overview, and assumptions. It explains the purpose, it explains the scope, gives you a general idea of what this person's job is and what they have to do. Goes through each, when you look at any of the OSEP things, you have prevention, protection, mitigation, response, recovery. And it's like a circle that just continues to go around you. So you prepare, you do your protection, you mitigate problems, you respond to the problems, and then you recover, and then you start over again. Kind of tells how each ESF goes through each one of those arrows, with their part in each one of those. It gives a general description and just tells about what the organization is supposed to do, what we're gonna do, and just, it outlines everything that ESF person is responsible for.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was wondering what you were referencing when you said, oh, when we have to open up a shelter, we need to follow certain guidelines and where that came from.
Yeah, you said ESF 6, I think, handles the
ESF
shelters.
6 is in reference to mass care, so
Yeah.
it kind of outlines everything that you have to have to open a shelter.
To go a little bit further, each one of the ESF groups is supposed to develop a plan. So like you said, ESF 1 reference transportation. In transportation, we have a name, but we say it should list a Jeff Davis Parish School Board Director of Transportation. And that's all it should say. That's who's the coordinator. In that aspect, that coordinator that had that position has a plan. He develops a plan for how he's gonna do, how he's gonna move people. And that plan, and our plan, basically is taken from the state. So it tells us how he's planning on getting the people out, where he's gonna pick up the people. So it's a lot involved in that. So you get that point. He assigns the bus
Yeah.
drivers know where to go to pick up the people. And then they know from there where they're gonna go. So that's all in the plan. That's already done. Supposed to be done. My contention when I was talking with Tim is that, one, when we redeveloped this thing, none of the coordinators had any idea
What they were doing, yeah.
what their function was, what their job was, who he was, who you are. So the first thing we did was when we redid it, I tried to get them to come back in, like the parish president of the Fire Chiefs Association, to sit down, the director of transportation at the school board, my office, the sheriff who is over all the law enforcement, the person that deals with the health aspects, who was basically the director of the Oshner, who's resigned, so we have to find somebody. So each one of these coordinators should understand what is it that they do and who supports them when they need to support. When we activate the office, when I bring them in, they understand who supports them, who they can look to support them. So that's basically where we are. All right. I'll give you a prime example. When Randy came in, he had no idea that was one of the things that he did during the disaster. It's a hurricane. He must coordinate all public works in the parish. They go through him. He had no idea that was he did. So that creates a problem.
So to me, what we need to do, Tim, is have a meeting with all the ESFs and get them in here. And I know it's, it's not a name, it's a title. But that title right now for transportation, or not transportation, but public works is Randy. So we need to get them all in, not in a committee meeting, but as a planning meeting. And they have to be aware that they have to come up with this plan.
So y'all,
I'll go one step further to do that. I have reached out to the fire chief, president, and to the school board to sit down one-on-one. Look at your coordinator.
Right.
Look at your plan. Questions. Follow up. What are your concerns? We need to address it. Now, as you look at the plan, when you develop your plan, what is your concerns? So
y'all,
I emailed them, made the call. I see, what's convenient for you to sit down and talk? The only one I haven't done that with is Randy. I've done, but the other one is, we have to get a BFS coordinator for, health. Which one is it? Dealing with health and hospital, because the director.
That's mass care.
We didn't know the previous person left, so we were looking for, this is
You
the
talking
thing
about the CEO of the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. but
Yes,
this
sir.
is the-
Dana
I'm
retired, now
not
he's
trying to get away from it, but this is the thing that happens whenever someone
So-
doesn't know that they
Right,
exist.
right. Yes.
So let me let y'all know what there
we basically
is.
need a motion to assign all these ESF
No.
coordinators, correct? And then review
No.
their duties
No,
and bring them all together?
So let me let y'all know, there's ESF 1 through 17 that I'm looking at right here. There's one for transportation, communications, public works, firefighting, emergency management, mass care, logistics, public health and medical services, search and rescue, oil and hazmat, agriculture, energy, public safety, long-term community recovery, external affairs, military, and cybersecurity. So
What's the state agency that has, where did it, I'm sorry,
It's under
that's,
GoSep.
it's on the go.
GoSep has the same, all it is that not necessarily every parish uses this the GoSep model. Some of them use different. I think Beauregard uses something completely different.
GoSep.la.gov.
So, but, you know, it just, that, you know, it was there when I got there. All I done was fix the scopes on the roof.
Yeah.
Some of them were broken and some of them didn't even know they were there.
And some of those I mean, I don't see a need for us to have that sustainability or whatever that one, I mean, you know, yeah.
So can you,
Cybersecurity, you mean?
can you
No,
and Tim
one of the other ones up.
work together to see what ESS we have, which ones we
We
want
don't
to?
have any, just to let you know.
But which
We
ones
don't have any
which
that-
ones we want to
Yeah.
assign as a coordinator for that specific ESF? And then if that person agrees to it, then you bring all these coordinators together with us and the fire and the sheriff, and we all sit down and
That's
move
what a-
forward?
That's what a
That was where I was
PMAC,
going next.
that's what a PMAC meeting
Okay,
is.
that's kind of my idea with
In,
it.
in,
Get them to commit, and then we can
in
all
our
come to the
actual, in
table.
our actual plan, the new plan that we developed, once these EFS coordinators are given the position, then each one of them sign off on it, that they had read it and understood it. It's just like what was done with Steve, you know, when we finished it, we need to get, the first person we need to get is our president of the police chair to sign off on it, then we move it along. The other part of it is that we have to get all these groups, these individuals together. We did meet with some of them. I did meet with some of them when we did our hurricane. We are gonna also try to combine some of them together, like our energy. That was gonna fall directly under to Public Works. You see the one that says energy?
12, yeah.
So some of them are gonna be,
I wouldn't put that under Public Works.
No.
I mean, not under Randy
That's totally
because,
not-
Well,
that,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
honestly, like, if you leave agriculture,
They would work
get the local
in
county agent,
conjunction
and
with
then
that.
he has responsibility.
Yeah.
My talk to him was that when we activate our EOC, they're gonna have a representative in the EOC.
I would say this, we need to draft a letter to each one of them, like the school board. In our,
I think in
all
the
hazard
emergency-
plan.
I think in the emergency plan, there is a letter in there that says I'm signing off on this and da-da-da.
Well, no, what I'm saying is we send it to the school board and say, our all hazard plan has your transportation director as transportation. And no, hey, will you sign off? No, this is what you're doing. If your transportation director isn't going to do it, then you have to assign it to someone else. I mean, this is not
So what's bad about that what's bad about the transportation ESF is it has all kind of stuff that they have to deal with, moving, it's not just moving people, it's moving, let me find it again real quick.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah. It doesn't just have just moving people for shelters and evacuations. It's a whole
Tim, you
list of
can't,
stuff.
you and we cannot do it all, so you've got to delegate that out to them, and they got to figure it out.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is if we give it to Mr. Gilbo, who is the transportation guy at the schools, this has movement of people, materials by aviation, maritime, surface, railroad, and pipeline.
You got to tailor it, I mean, that's the generic.
I
It's
know.
got to be tailored to what all we want you to do is figure out how to move people
So that's
from
exactly what
point A to
that's what I'm
point
saying,
B
is we need
for
to figure
shelters.
out on the
That's what I'm saying.
ESFs.
That's why whenever they look at this thing, they develop a plan that corresponds to what we doing. That is a generic thing that came from the state.
Exactly.
That's where it came from. I can tell you that, I know. It came from the state. So it's whenever, I don't know where it came
Yeah.
from. It was taken from the state and then just modeled after the state. But we have to take, that's why I say, I gave this, each one of those guys do have it, because we gave the jump drive to a lot of them that was there to be. I still have jump drives with the plan in it.
Did you sign out who got what and who got where and who they
The
are?
last hurricane conference that we had at the multipurpose building, they got copies.
I know, but did you write off or sign off and have a
Yes,
copy of who you gave it to?
whoever was there got a copy.
No. Do you have a
Listen what I'm
copy
saying.
of who is
you're
what?
saying. Listen what I'm saying. Whoever was there that represented one of those agencies got a copy. Walnut, I think Randy got a copy. Philip from the water department got a copy. So all these agencies that was there got a copy that had a coordinator was there. Yes, I do have the people that got a copy of names.
That's what I'm asking.
So what I'm saying, my contention for me was to sit down with them on a one-on-one and go over that plan with them. So that our plan is a big thing from the state. Look at it. Like Steve said,
Tell us
take it
what
and make it
fits.
fit for what we do.
Yeah.
That is the state plan. That's where it came from.
And that's our adopted plan, but yes, some of it doesn't,
Model to what we do.
yeah, so look at it, you figure out what you gotta do, and let's move forward, but, you know, it goes back to the PMAC meetings that we would have, and it was only 2 people that would come, or 3 people that would come. This isn't I mean, this isn't an optional thing.
Nope.
We need everybody to be involved, so that when we do go into a disaster mode, XYZ knows how to do it. You know, I mean, I said that last year as well. You know, the mayors need to be involved in that. It's not a committee meeting, it is a meeting. And the mayors need to be involved, the police, the sheriff, the fire departments, the fire districts, all of those need to be involved, because whenever it comes down to that disaster situation, it's all hands on deck, so.
So what I would ask, Marcus, is that in our plan, on pages 5 and 6, it has, those are the record of change, I'm sorry. It has the record of distribution on page 7. So if you gave this to Randy, we need to be able to say, okay, Randy, you signed off on this right here, let's go over it. Tim Landry, you signed off on it here, let's go over it. And get them to develop a plan, and then in the PMAC, we can go over that plan. Because there's no organization happening, it's just, I told them, but there's nothing happening. There's nobody actually doing, because when we have the meeting, they all sit in here and they don't know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's what I said. If you go back to what I gave you, when I gave them that, the night that I gave everybody a copy, I told them to take it, review it, and we're gonna get back after the beginning of the year to meet a one-on-one to discuss it. That's where we are. I know what you're saying, I think you and I are the same thing, it's just that I
Yeah.
need to get.
But here's what I'm saying, you know where they're at, right? You know who they are. Where's it written that it's done? Because if you walk out that door and you die,
That's what
I don't know who has all these jump drives and who has all this information.
That's what I'm telling you, that's what I'm gonna, when I go to meet with them, and they sign off on that point as a coordinator, when they sign off on it, then that's my understanding that they have read the plan and understand the plan, because the plan is new. I think you say the same thing.
Are y'all getting what I'm saying? He handed out information
Yeah, so,
to people.
Marcus,
and
just
none
give
of
him a
them-
list of who you handed it out to, and then those
Well, when you give
12 or
somebody-
16
If I give you this, you need to sign right then and there that you took it, you accepted it.
no,
And
I
that
don't
way-
think they're
no,
gonna
no,
do
not
that,
you- no, no,
but, yeah.
Not
The
that
reason
you,
why
no,
they-
wait, hold on. Not that you accept all the rules of it, that you have
Yeah,
it.
you have it, yeah.
And that way I can go back to you and say, okay, hey, on this date you signed for this, are you ready to discuss it?
Yeah, well,
Because I have no idea who they are.
my suggestion, yeah, my suggestion,
To review it, so when I get ready to sign it, to make it official, is when they say they understand it.
my suggestion would be however many you gave out. If you feel we only need 12 of the 16 or 17 categories, each one of those, you call them and you say, hey, on this date, I'm having a meeting, you have to be here. And then we go over it with them and say, hey, you're in charge of this, you're in charge of that.
So
You
when
need
we
to have a plan developed by X number of days.
When we have these meetings, these OEP committee meetings, we can go over that and have a sense that we're moving forward with this. Because like this document, the all hazard emergency plan, it's editable. You can type in information and put stuff in there, but there's nothing in here. There's nothing at all as who you gave all this information to. So that's what I'd like to be able to see, because if,
I think you're in the same thing, but I think you're having to understand it. The reason why, let me make this easy. The reason why nobody signed off on it in the document is because this is new. So my plan was to allow them to look at it and tweak it to what their job to do. Once they come back to me and say, this is what I need to change in that plan as far as transportation goes, then we can change it. Then he's gonna sign off on it. So therefore, he understands.
It's their
that.
plan, yeah.
So I don't want him to just say, okay, I gave you, you looked at it. I never knew that was existing.
so Randy, you have one of these, right?
I have a book also,
Yeah.
the big folder.
Do you know where the jump drive is? Have you gone over, I'm not fussing right now, I'm just asking.
I moved offices since then.
Yes.
And it's, you know, you lose those things. and it's
Right,
really-
yeah.
But it's probably in my junk drawer, drive.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them that's in the office, because those that wasn't, the ones that weren't not there, is still in my office.
So I'd like to see the record of distribution filled out. Doesn't matter if they agree to doing all the terms of it. I want to know that way, like I said, if you die when you walk out that door, somebody will know where all these jump drives and who to call, who to expect this information from. Because we need to show that we're planning and fixing and doing, not coming to the meetings and having the same discussions over and over again.
You know, what I remember on the jump drive from my part, I focus on my part because I need to master my part. But there's a lot of legs to it. If the other parts aren't mastered, that's going to inhibit me to make the road safe. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yes.
So there's some other things
Yeah.
that has to happen before me, like electric companies.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all, is this plan exactly how y'all want it, or do y'all have to go back to the drawing board and tweak it? I'm asking
It's
another
got-
loaded question.
Well, no, it's gonna have to be tweaked, it's gonna have to be tweaked all the time. It's like a flowing.
Yeah.
It's
It's an ever working
constantly
document?
flowing,
Okay.
yes. So like Randy's saying, his portion of this has to do with Public Works, which is all the roads, all the waterways, all the, anything, whatever. So part of the people that he'll be working with is the sheriff's office, so he would have to have a meeting with the sheriff and expect what he needs, and it's constantly flowing, and that's why the PMAC meetings come up, and we have to have all these ESFs know their portion to where they can know that I can call Corey, and Corey can get the ag guy, and Steve can get the bank people, and that kind of stuff. And when we have an OEP meeting, we need to be able to have
All these people at
an
the table?
ESF review every time.
Right, and when you have an ESF meeting, you need all these ESFs to show up.
Yes. If you're gonna agree to it, you need to come.
That's kind of my philosophy as well. If you agree to it, you sign it, you agree to do it, then show up.
You got to be at the meetings. I mean,
Correct.
that's always been the biggest issue is they don't show up until we have a disaster
And nobody
in the
knows
Gulf,
what-
you know, a hurricane in the Gulf, and then they don't have a clue. So, I mean, I know it states, and I'm just saying, road supervisor, director of transportation, whatever, but we know who those people are right now. And they don't need to be worded in that document, but that list should be an addendum for 2026. These are the people that are ESF 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through that.
Yes.
And those people have to be at the PMAC meetings.
Because in this plan, it has a place for who is this guy, who is this guy, who is,
Right,
we have
right.
none of that on any of it.
And that's just an addendum.
Yes.
So as far as EF3, what I am, the only two I deal with is dispatch with the sheriff, closing and opening roads, and the electric companies, and we're already out there anyway. You know?
Yeah, but you're also gonna be, I envision you're gonna be dealing with the road people in the city of Jennings, the town of Welsh, Lake Arthur,
If we get a
Elton.
call that there's some electrical lines and trees down on the road, I'll call dispatch, shut it down, meet with the electric company and do it over.
Right,
and
right.
forever.
Exactly, you know,
See,
so,
what makes it a lot easier is when you're inside, when your people call you that there's something going on, and you need it, when we activated, the EOC, you're almost directly talking to a representative from that energy, from the
Yeah.
power company. You're already talking to him, so you can tell him like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I say
So
this,
after the event, we're the first ones on the road, so they're gonna, the guys are gonna report to me, I'll report to the sheriff, and I'll report to the
Yep.
electric company.
yeah.
To close the road, the road's closed. They supposed to call the ambulance, call the fire departments.
that goes, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
That's why I said when I was sitting down with you one-on-one, I'll just show you how that thing is
But
gonna
I still
flow.
let Tim know, and I still let the ambulance
What?
guy know 2 times on her by telephone.
Why
Well,
don't we?
We
why-
need to have Marcus, I would just say to me, we need to have the one-on-ones pretty quick, because we're already
Well, that's-
March,
that's
so,
what I was
March,
going at.
April,
Yeah.
May.
We need to do this, we need to do this because I made the calls. And like I said, what I'm visioning for Randy is that Randy's gonna be making multiple calls, but Randy has to do one call. When he starts talking about, communication, that you have a road closed, you need to notify Katie and Amherst. When you're inside the EOC, there's somebody in there, the communication person is not gonna take that and distribute it to where it needs to go. You tell communications, I need to notify, blah, 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 blah. Got it, it moves.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've never dealt with this sheriff department yet. I mean, I've done it 3 times with Ivy and,
We,
but there has been times where I closed bridges and closed roads that Tim never knew. Or the ambulance never knew.
but this is what I'm saying, should go to communications. That was the communications force to put it out there. As far as notifying the Katy ambulance and stuff like that, they can have all that information, notify all the law enforcement agencies through the parish. Boom, done. You want to call, there,
What
it's
you got?
done.
How can we facilitate the one-on-ones? How can we
Well,
expedite and facilitate
What's
that?
bad is Thursday night, this Thursday night, we have the PMAC meeting, which all of these ESFs should be at.
Not necessary.
Well, as many that are there, let's say 10 are there, let's drill down each one of them and set a calendar date and time for each one of the ESFs that are there, and then the few that aren't there, then there'll be that many less we'll have to coordinate a one-on-one.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see, is us develop our ESFs and develop,
And then
so
that
they know
one-on-
what they're doing, what they're expecting.
During that one-on-one, we could make sure they understand the plan, get comments from them if they need to tweak their particular section, and then hopefully get a commitment from that particular person at that time as well.
Yeah,
So you're having a PMAC this Thursday?
there's at 6 o'clock,
All right.
yeah.
I'm out of the loop, so, hey,
Do it twice a year.
I'm not an
you know-
ESF anymore. Hey.
Does
Yes.
this Thursday?
That is
And now
6
on.
PM, the 911 go.
And everybody, I mean, y'all, that's the only thing I would ask is, everybody that needs to be there knows about the meeting, right?
The makeup of the PMAC committee is in the thing, how we did it.
All right,
The mayors were invited, president of the police jury, the sheriff as representative for the law enforcement, Tim for fire,
can y'all just make sure they're, one-on-one aware of it?
They should have gotten a second notice about the meeting, last week with Suzette, or a while back.
All right,
So that PMAC stands for Parish Emergency Management Advisory Committee. So that's what that's all about.
all right.
It's like a PMAC in elementary.
So where are we at now?
All right, let's move on. We talked about the all-hazard plan. you wanted to discuss a hurricane conference, Marcus.
We're looking to do it again like we did, do this every year. This is when we bring everybody back in and discuss it, the thing. Looking at the second Thursday, second Thursday in the month of May. I think it would be pretty good on that day. And counterparts, sometimes they do show up from the other parishes.
So
They
that's-
also sit in on their hurricane conferences.
What day was that?
Usually second Thursday of the month of May.
Okay, so that would be May 14th.
Yes.
And at 6 p.m. we'll use the, if it's available, we'll use the multi-purpose building like we did last time. And we're inviting everybody, even the police jury, we try to invite mayor, city council members, aldermen,
What time you want to do that?
6 p.m. Again, please understand, I do this, the reason why I like to invite public officials, if you have not sitting on these conference calls, whether it's for the National Weather Service or even the governor's office when they're doing these conference calls, of some of these elected officials, the comments that's made really frightens you. When are we going to evacuate at the weather conference? You know, it's just like Steve said, you know, when the disaster happens and a lot of these elected officials come up to me and ask me questions, or ask them where's this person supposed to go? Well, how do I get somebody to be evacuated? All this should have been addressed previously. That's why I like to invite them all in there so they can see exactly how the office works. What are we doing? What are we there for? And how things should flow.
I'm gonna go back up to the ESFs. I need to get a motion to review the emergency support functions and assign ESF coordinators and review their obligations.
So
as
moved.
ESF.
So, I mean, I thought it's in there.
He just wants a motion to re-review them, assign them.
Where we reviewed them,
Yeah,
to assign the ESF coordinators and review their obligations. So each ESF come in and talk about it and visit and learn and, no?
I mean, you know, I thought we'd already done that, but,
Okay.
I mean, if you feel like you need a motion for it, that's fine, but it's all in that plan.
do we need a motion to let them edit them as necessary?
I mean, it's like Tim said, it's a working plan. I mean, those names could change every year, you know.
It's just, I don't want to put the
So
name.
let's just
Just
give
say
the authority edit.
Right.
Director of Transportation for the Jeff Davis Parish School Board. That person, that's why I say, that person, just like Randy, has the understanding that if he develops a plan, he looks at what the generic part of it, but he develops a plan to say, this is what I should be doing, or this is what I want
Yeah.
to happen.
So this plan is not gonna change, right? This is gonna stay the way it is?
Unless you see something that you need to change.
Because, I mean, we're ready, there's fundraisers tonight, my guys know what to do, we're ready.
So Steve, this is why I want to review them with the ESF coordinators, so that they can know what this means, because a lot of them don't even know what
But
it means.
I mean, that's fine, but I don't think you need a motion. That's what the plan says, is y'all do that. I mean, but if you want, hey, Corey made the motion, I'll second it, and we can vote on it. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
that's what the
Well, I
plan
want to have
is.
something to report to the jury too, so that something we at least made a motion forward, a move forward in something.
That's fine.
Because
I mean,
we spin in this circle every meeting.
but
the same stuff
I've
is
said that,
discussed.
but you don't need another motion, just go do it. That's my feelings, but hey, we got the motion, I'll second it, let's vote.
Everybody in favor? I am.
I am,
Are you?
yeah.
Cool.
All right, so I need a motion to set the hurricane conference, 6 PM, May 14th.
My only question there is it available, the multipurpose building?
Check right
Yeah.
And the last thing on this agenda, we'll go back to the hurricane conference when Ben's finished, is the Roanoke warehouse. Marcus, you had some stuff about that.
Yes, I would like to get some repairs done. One is get some more lighting on basically on the front of the truck, the front part of the storage area. Get some more fluorescent lighting, a little bit more lighting in the front. And then do some little housekeeping possibly. We talked about it last year, going through that thing and paint and getting it cleaned up in the back where all the perishable items are stored. That's okay, that's under climate control. We do have pest control, so we're working to get that. I just need to,
We still have
just,
our maintenance guy that can do the work. I make that motion to, within reason, budgetary reason, I mean,
honestly, Steve, I'm not asking for a whole lot, it's just,
Yeah. I'm
minor
good.
stuff, and just to get the lights, a couple lights inside it with generators or store to have a little bit more light when we're doing stuff.
all right.
I'll
So
second.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I think we need to add to this agenda here is to have the new president and new vice president sign off on the all hazard plan, on the emergency operations plan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Is that what you were, yes?
And also, I know I also want to add on to the agenda real quickly, two items that came to mind. One, we were working with Dr. Tracy on that PET plan that Lance had reviewed a while back. There was a concern how the wording was. I did reach out to Victoria. I don't know if I told you last, but she said what the information basically says that if it's needed, we will, in essence, host them. They would provide the support people to run the facility here. In other words, if there was a disaster in a neighboring parish, if Wildlife and Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Agriculture needed a place to shelter the animals, we would allow them to use a facility like the arena. They would provide the support people to run it, to go there and do it. That's what she said, that's the wording, she said that's normal, that's what they do. That's just a reciprocating back to the state that we would do that. So, again, I know you had a concern that we would like giving up too much to them.
No, it's not that, it's that,
The wording is something,
no, what I was told, this is gonna allow, this is an agreement where if we have an emergency, they will take the animals out of the animal shelter and do something with them. I read it and I said, no, this obligates us to take other people's animals. That's it. That's all I was saying. I was saying it's backwards from what was being, the idea that people had that agreement was, it wasn't meant for us to be able to give the animals in our parish to be housed elsewhere when we need it. It's that we would be housing animals in our parish when others need it. So that's opposite, right?
And I believe that's kind of what you're saying is,
Yeah.
they would bring them here.
yeah, we would, basically, yeah, that's the way Victoria explained to me that, I guess she would
And I'm
talk.
not saying there's anything wrong with that, I'm just saying, people had the wrong understanding, I'll just clarify that. If we're gonna vote, we don't need to vote on something that's wrong, right? Wrong idea-wise versus what's on the paper, that's it. If y'all wanna approve that and host the other people's animals, that's fine. I mean, that's nothing to do with.
That's all it is.
Okay, so my question there is, are they gonna supply the kennels and the, whatever items are needed
I
to
will
house them.
verify, I will verify that information. And it's in our pet plan that we submitted to the state that just recently done. They asked us how many large and small, kennels are needed, and it's in that plan when we submitted to the state. But I will verify that that is
Yeah.
correct, that we did submit one just recently to the state that we need so many small and so many large kennels.
Yeah.
So we do, but also be aware that we have the capabilities to purchase, and we will purchase whenever our kennel is, dog animal shelter is open, we will purchase, small and large kennels that can be stored for some reason if we need to, like, just like you said, we will be able to move them, bring them, people put them in there, and then LAFA would in turn, have somebody pick it up and bring it to, the location. So that, I'm already looking at that aspect in the next round of funding will come through. The last and final thing that I just forgot to put to discuss is our wraparound with our support service for the Park Department Caldwell. As you know, they have two buildings, possibly three, that we can use whenever we do our point-to-point. And the two buildings that I looked at, the restrooms, shower facility is not that great. In the men's, it's an open, like if you were in high school, the big old area everybody took a shower in. In the women's, there's 2 shower stalls, 3. I did find a vendor that has mobile units that he can bring, finally, somebody. I do have the price of what it would cost for him to bring it, set it up. It can be attached to the municipal system for electrical, or it can be self-contained. I told him I prefer to be self-contained. There's a price. He even has a price to do food catering service, but I don't think we needed that because Red Cross had agreed to that part of it. So I just need, we will start the conversation because we need to get him on contract to whenever we have to go. If we use Caldwell, he would, I think it's just 1 unit that he would bring, and that was a discussion with him when we were talking, and he's also going to come. I thought it would be better to have his own janitorial person that familiar with the unit comes with it and be able to maintain it.
I move that we authorize you to work up, one, get the agreements, two, get the prices, and then bring it back to the committee for approval, or you and Tim approve, and then we present it to the jury, because all that funds, if we have that expense, that's another one you're going to put in Web EOC, and we get reimbursed for it. Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
I think we might have to bid that out, but I don't know. That's, just like our debris removal, we bid those out. I don't know. It may be a sole source provider, I don't know.
He's probably the only one that responded, and Victoria, the one that located it.
Then I think we can get away
I'll
with
give you
the,
information and stuff like
yeah,
that.
get that to Lance, because to me, we get that sole source provider, basically. I know there's several out there because I see them on the interstate all the time.
The ones that I contacted, all the ones I contacted, they had nothing nearby to move.
Okay.
He is close. He can do it.
All right.
That's why I got his name from Victoria. She said that before. So,
What's that for, Marcus?
Showers.
Showers and restrooms
Shower, okay.
at the point-to-point with Caldwell.
I think once an event like that occurs, you have vendors and suppliers that come out of the wherever. And
Yeah.
so
They do.
I think if we have the time and the ability, we bid it out, public bid, and that would lock us into, or secure a better safety for getting reimbursement, that we use a a supplier that was bid out publicly.
Yeah, but we need to bid that out now then.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
that-
Because that's the whole problem. We
Right.
can't wait until the event because then we can't get anybody,
And
so.
I think they're more ready to pay money back when you have somebody set like that in
Yes.
preparation for an event, not
Yeah, because,
at the time of the event, because everybody's prices go up.
right, and then
We had a
also,
shower- We had a shower trailer show up at our place that was $7,800 a week.
yeah. And if y'all recall, when I know Tim and Corey were here, but when we went through Laura and Delta, we piggybacked off of Iberia Parish's debris cleanup, and then we had to bid our own. So we were stuck for 30 days under somebody else's, trying to get our bids out. So it's always better to be pre-planned than to be
Early
post-event.
than late,
Yeah.
yes.
But I do think you get it together and then let's
I'll-
bid it out. And
I'll submit to give you, when I get back in the office, I'll get you the information with bid.
so I move that
What he.
we move forward with coming up the plan and putting it out for bids. How's that?
For showers, point them at the, yes.
Showers and restrooms.
Showers in the restaurant.
Second.
All right. All,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that's it. Anybody else got anything else? Second?
Hey, the one thing on the hurricane conference,
You can close that.
just before y'all firm up on that date, one, the multipurpose building, and two, make sure that make sure that none of the other towns are having council meetings that night, because you really, I mean, I've always said we need those mayors or their second in command, whatever, here at the meeting, so.
To my knowledge, Tuesday and Wednesday are the two nights, because that's why I talked to all of them and tried to make their meetings to discuss what we do.
All right.
And Jenny's is Tuesday, I think everybody else is Wednesday.
See, I thought Lake Arthur was Thursdays, but I don't know. I don't know. So,
I thought it was Wednesdays.
it could be. I may be wrong. I mean, like I said, I don't know.